Okay. Hello, welcome everyone. I'm really excited for today's live because I'm bringing on Meaghan and Jay, and Meaghan has shown us inside Teacher Boss Society in one of our coaching sessions. Meaghan showed us what she was using to organize her own teaching lessons, and we all actually started using it in our own ways. So today we're going to show you how we each use Notion for our own businesses. And we were joking before we came on here that there's like, you know there's a parallel effect here because I'm the shortest in real life and Jay is the tallest in real life. So yeah, I get to be the tallest for once. So do you guys want to introduce yourself and tell you Meaghan, you want to start, introduce yourself, say who you are, what you're, what you do?
Sure. So my name's Meaghan, and I am an online teacher and a curriculum creator. And I am creating new curriculum lessons at florentislearning.ca. But I've been teaching online for 8 years, I think. And prior to that, taught in the classroom in Canada. So public school teacher as well.
Okay, and go ahead, Jay.
I'm Jay. Uh, I'm an independent online teacher. I've been at it independently for about a year and a half now. And prior to that, I just taught at various online schools in Asia, China mostly.
Okay. All right. And I'm Jillian, and I teach online and help other teachers teach online. Okay. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about Notion. Meaghan, do you want to kick it off here and talk about what Notion is and why you started using it, how you use it?
Sure. So Notion, I've been using now for probably 3 years. So essentially, since I went independent. And originally, I was using Google Sheets, and I had a tab for each student, and I kept all of my notes in there. But it became super irritating because you had to find the right tab, and then the tabs expanded across the screen, and you couldn't see everything at a glance. And so I was looking for something that was more of a notebook or a note-taking type system, and came across Notion. So Notion is really cool because you can have databases and you can have all of your records and you can set up templates. And so I just sort of started using it and then building on it. And so I had actually gotten a template originally from someone else, and then at this point have completely changed it and transformed it, and it's no longer really what it was before. So
And there's also a calendar feature. So every time
yeah,
you put students' notes in there, you can book them on your calendar and attach the notes to the calendar. Did you want to screen share first and show us what you had to show,
sure.
or?
So I just threw a quick sort of template version of what I have, and it's not um, exactly the same because one of the things I learned is that you can only attach your calendar to one of your projects at once. And so essentially, what you see here are my fake upcoming lessons. And I have sort of set up a home page for myself. So I can jump to any of the pages from this page. And I also have a link directly to my lessons that I'm teaching, so I don't have to go and look for that. And each of these cards is a record in my class records. So a class record for me has a date, and usually I just started putting the time on it, only because then it puts it in my calendar in the right spot. And then my student link, so that links back to the tracker, my lesson material, time, and I pre-populate some of these things because what I do is when I'm done, I screenshot this and share it with the parent. And then the parent gets this information about their student's performance during class. So I just can write in a quick note, and if I have any homework, I fill it in and it's ready to go. Or if the lesson was canceled, I record that.
Okay, very cool. And
So
well, guys, keep that in mind what she just said because Jay's going to show us something really cool that he does for that.
yes,
Um,
Jay's doing something even different. And
yes.
then I can look at, so these are just the upcoming ones. So it's actually filtering out all of the ones that are complete. And so if I go to the table view, I can see these, but I can also see all of my homework. I can see everything at a glance for each of my students, and sort of where we're at. And then I do mark things as whether they're trial or scheduled. And so there's lots of ways that you can use filters and functionality. And I've also recently discovered, which is super cool, is that for these cards that I've been manually creating, I actually, if I set up a template for each of them, in here, there's a repeat functionality. And so it will actually create the cards for you, creating the appointment in your calendar for you when you have repeat. So it's super cool.
That's cool. Okay, so I was doing mine different, and I've been like manually putting here, let me go into like screen share. So I actually okay. So I just added a whole bunch of blank ones here so nobody can see any of my people's emails here, because you see that I have this is mine that I've been using for goat parties. So it's not related to teaching, but that's how I've been doing it. So then I put like the person's name, the status, right? Whether it has been started, in progress, if it's done, if, how much I've collected, how much is due, their email, and then little check marks. If they've paid in full, put in a deposit, photo, consent, contract, review. And then I come over to, so I come over to here, open it up. So mine looks different than yours. And then what I'll do is I'll take the contract and I will embed the contract in here. So that if I'm on the go and I need to see the contract that they've signed, I can do that really quick. Because what I'm using Notion for, it requires me to not be in front of my computer. So I use mine a little bit different, but then what I do is I will go over to the calendar. So this is my calendar of goat parties, and then I actually come over, like say somebody actually, here's actually one, and I will put in here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I will put in here, goat scaping, like Orchard Park, and then I come over and I will put the name of the person. And then I'm not going to type in the location because it'll show locations, but then I will put in the name of the location. And actually, this is supposed to be here. And then that's how I do mine. So there's actually a way that you can do this where you don't have to go back to your calendar too.
Yeah, if you put the information on the, and I've only just started using the calendar part, which is super cool. But if you put, and I'm just going to go to my real one because we'll be able to see calendar.
And for virtual, so the one that I showed isn't virtual. For virtual, you can actually attach it to, or you can put your Zoom link, your Google link, like whatever link you're using to,
Yeah, so
go.
these are putting them just in Notion's calendar, right? But if I go managing calendar, it opens the calendar. I might have to change to a tab I'm sharing here. I don't think that worked. Share my Notion calendar. So if I do it in my Notion calendar, you'll see it's got my Google Calendar with it, and it adds the Notion calendar appointments directly to my Google Calendar. So if I turn them on, I think it's under upcoming. Anyway, the calendar feature is something I hadn't been using, but it is really cool because it will actually put them on both calendars. So, but the repeat function that I was using is strictly from my Notion and creating an appointment, and you can set it to repeat. So if I have a student, for instance, that is on Monday and Thursday, I say every week, Monday and Thursday, and it creates that new little card on my board at midnight. So then when I get up in the morning to teach, it's already there. It's right waiting for me.
Oh, that's cool. See, yours looks different and is set up differently than mine, because mine was Mine's just like the list there.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways to set it up, and it sort of depends on
Amazing.
what you want to do and what you use. Because I gave Jay a little bit of, oh, okay, you can do this or this or this, and now Jay's is completely different than mine even.
So how do you change it? How do you change it from instead of the list view? How do you change it from the list to the grid? How do you make that a thing?
So you have the option to have all of the views. So if I want to add a new view, I'll show you. You go to, so I have upcoming table and calendar view, and see there's a little plus mark beside it. And so I can go add a new view, and I can add a board view, for instance. And if I add board view, the board view has a calendar, has these cards. Now this one happens to be grouped by student behavior, which is a silly way to group it. And so you go here, group by, and you choose what you want to group it by. So I usually group it by date and time. And then instead of date by relative, I go by day. And then I also, so I've done my grouping now, but I also add a filter so that I filter by date and time. Oh, no, not by date and time. That's not right. Delete you. Go back. Filter by, oh, come on. I don't want you like that. Filter by, come on, let me out of there. Anyway, I usually filter it by status. So then I only show my scheduled ones instead of my new ones. Let me just get rid of this.
Oh, so mine. Okay, I had to come over
So if I
to.
do it properly, board, and I choose my group by. So I group it by date and time, and then I filter it by the status of the lesson, and I just want my scheduled lessons. And the other thing is when you group, I usually change this to be by a day, so that then it lists each of them, like each day that's upcoming. But you can do it by a week. You can do it like, so if you do relative, it shows you that today's, but then it also shows you like 7 days next month. So you can play with sort of how you want to group that. But the upcoming, and then now it's just called board, which is sort of silly. And so you give it a name, right? These are my new lessons, for instance. And now these are new lessons, right? Or today's schedule, or whatever you want to call it.
What happens when you click on one of those lessons? What happens?
So when I click on it, it opens my card view on the side.
And okay.
And
okay.
Tim did a great job.
There you go, Timmy.
And then if I change this to finished, right? Because we've taught this lesson, the card disappears from the upcoming lessons, but it's still on, because I have this in my complete class records. If I go to table view, and it was Tim, right? It's still here, right? There's Tim's finished lesson.
That is, I wish that I knew about this when I first started teaching independently, because I was.
Oh God, me too.
Like I'm gonna have
a nightmare.
I'm gonna have to take like the trial lesson thing or whatever and make like what I have in Google in Google Sheets, what I have for that. I'm gonna have to take that and make it a Notion template or something, because that, I mean, it just works so well. Jay has been doing something really, really cool with students for student feedback.
Yeah, I hate writing lesson memos, and to be honest, and when I'm sending this out to the parents, I acknowledge it. I say, I'm going to be honest with you. I failed miserably at doing memos. So you can't get this with the free version. You have to pay for not even the pro. You have to go up to the business, which is like $20 a month, I think.
Okay.
And I let Notions AI take notes during the classes, and it posts it on the student's page, and I can publish that page for the parents, so they can I have a memo page for them. They can just click on that link anytime, and they can see the memo within a minute after the class is finished.
What does
And
Tomo look like? Do you have an example of one?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How do I share my screen on this thing?
On the bottom, there's a little plus button.
Okay, hold on.
And
How do
hi,
I
Brenda.
click where-
Brenda's saying hi, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hey, B. Renda. I lost you. Where are you? Oh my gosh. Uh, there we go. Okay. So let me. All right. I'm just gonna. Yeah. And I will say that Meaghan really helped me out in the beginning with this. Without her help, I wouldn't have gotten very far, to be honest. At the bottom. Okay. Share screen. Window.
There are templates available and stuff, so you can sort of use those to get started. But I mean, it's about figuring out the relationships because you create a database and then you want to link to that. So you actually end up with multiple databases that are all linking to each other instead of just one. And mine also, I track my payments, and I'll show that in a template after, Jay. I can show that.
Can you see my stuff now?
Yep, we see you, Jay.
Okay. So what I do, and I haven't got the calendar piece in there yet. Everything gets, I have my calendar written all over the place. And I'll be honest with you, I just look at my Zoom calendar, but I don't have that implemented yet. So it takes me about 20 seconds a day to create a list of my students for the day. For example, today I had Tony today, and I just when he has a class, I just click that, put the date in and the package, and I keep track of his. This is live data, but there's no PII there. It's just Tony. I can see what classes he has left, and this stuff down here. Now, here is my memos page. And this was from class tonight. Um, and Tony Tone, because it transcribes what I say, and I call Tony Tone a lot. He laughs, but this gives me a pretty good summary of the lesson right here. It's better than any memo I would ever write. I promise you that. And it does give a transcript as well. I usually delete the transcript after it's published, but I can also use. So so I'm very new, like 2 weeks into Notion, but I've got 2 lesson memos for Tony. Well, I can go over here to AI and say, based on I'll just say my previous lessons with Tony. What should we work on in the
What?
near future? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is fantastic.
And this is what it drives me nuts when people are like AI is destroying teaching because it makes teaching so much more efficient. And this is just proof of it.
And I actually did this earlier today. Now, I don't, so the parents, they can only see this page. They can't see this page. And there's a reason for that. And I don't know a way around it yet unless I would create a separate database for each student. These are filtered views for me. These are filtered based on Tony only. If I shared this link to the parents, they would see every student I have and what their package looks like when they take classes. They would see everything. But this is basically the same thing. I had actually done this earlier today and put it in here. So that's that's kind of what I've added. Like I said, Meaghan was great. I also have a student tracking page. I group them by name, and we can just go through them. And then I've put this together. This is it's their packages page, and I have the platform listed. their renewal status. If they have 2 classes left, it puts this in here automatically for me. This is actually a formula. Thank you, Meaghan. And everything else. But mine, the basics of mine is very similar to Megan's. I don't have the calendar piece in. What I would like to do you need to see anything else here? Is there anything else you want to look at
No,
before
just
I
keep
stop sharing?
keep
Okay.
talking here.
Before what I want to do with the calendar is I want to have the calendar where I just click on the student's name and it brings me to their page. That's what I need to do. Um, I've imported a Google Calendar and I hated the way it looked, and you can't do anything to it. You can't add to it. You can only view it. Well, if I can't add to it, it really doesn't do me any good.
Yeah.
It really doesn't do me any good. What's so funny?
No.
What's up, Claire Nato?
So I think that depending on where you put the date and time, because if you put your date and time, that appears on your Notion calendar, right? So depending where you put that, you probably could have it actually just appear on that student's page. And you could click from your calendar, because I can go to the calendar view and click like the lessons for today from there,
Right,
or I
right,
can do it from my upcoming class page.
So
I think that
by naming it the date and time, it automatically puts it into the calendar.
yeah, the date and time is what's putting it into the calendar.
Oh, so if I made it instead
The
of
date
saying
will do it too, but the
so if
time.
I did, yeah, so if I did, hold on. If I did, instead of doing, let me come over here really quick. Please stop. Okay. So if I did, wait, where'd my Notion go? Oh, there it is, because I've got it on the templates. I was looking at the templates. Okay, so if I do, stop it, stop. Okay, so if I went over to, actually, let me stop sharing really, really quick, because I got to come over and get it down to where you can't see emails. Okay, so if I were to name this,
no, not the name.
Well, the field, the property has to be
You
a
don't have
date.
a field that has date and time.
Right.
Okay.
Right, so that date field, right? Because it is a date field and it is choosing a date. That should put it on your Notion calendar.
Okay, so excuse me. Oops. Okay, so if I did Tesco party, blah 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 blah, go back to date, and then if I put so if I type 6, I can't. I gotta.
And choose your date from there, and you can include time if you want, right?
Okay, so then I can include the time, and if I put it, okay.
And you can have end dates as well if you want, but you don't have to put it on your calendar.
Oh, that is so cool. So I can do it all right from there. And I can say, if I say I'm going to put it at 5 p.m. Okay. And then we're going to go over to, wait, what date did I put that for? Hold on a second.
June 21st.
No, that didn't work for me.
No, you're on the, no, it's not there yet.
No.
Don't you have to?
Maybe I have to connect the calendar.
Yeah. Right.
This just connects it to
Google.
But
if you, well, but why is it not on your Notion calendar? Because it should be right there.
Yeah. Did I do it?
Is that connected? Is your goat parties connected to your calendar?
It took the date off though, so let's try this again here. Okay. Oh wait, no, that was a different one. Is the goat parties? How do you connect the goat parties?
Um,
Well,
Hold on a second. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Let's see here.
I don't want
Create and view automations. Nope, that's for an upgrade. Okay.
so if you go to the top and go to add a view to your page,
I don't have add a view at my page like that.
you don't have the ability
you
to
do.
add the tab.
Hold on a
She
second.
does.
Hold on a second. I am going to really quick. Let me do this really quick. Hold on. Okay. I was just going through really quick and deleting the emails. Hold on. And copying them over so I can share this. Okay. So this is what I have at the top here. I don't have add a view like you have. I have this.
Yes, you do. You see where it says gallery?
Yeah.
Now
And
click
the
the
plus
plus
sign
right
beside
next to it.
No, go over
No,
gallery.
over
again.
where you were over on gallery.
This is
The
gallery.
plus sign right next to it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So then what?
Try empty view.
You know, yeah, I'm not seeing all the choices.
And then
there
here,
they
go
are.
to calendar.
Calendar. There you go.
But that was the same thing where I click here and then go to layout. Okay, so calendar.
Now let's see whether if we scroll down, I don't see your appointment. Your appointment should be on there.
Well, I don't think it's not connected. I was using the calendar separately. So you
Mom, where's the remote?
but it's the same
Where's the
But this should be a layout of your other database. If you have
Oh.
calendar.
remote?
That's
weird.
weird.
You said it was on your bed.
That's weird.
It was on your bed.
Yeah, go look. It's on the shelf. Okay. Okay. So maybe I had to do something when I set it up instead of doing it differently. Connections?
No, that's for apps and stuff like that.
So your Notion calendar is connected though. Oh, but it's only connected. Oh, that's weird. What is the access option? No.
There's nothing I can do there. Okay. Well, I can just keep doing it the way that I was doing it,
Yeah.
or I'll figure it out. But I just wanted to show you guys. Hi, Lori. I just wanted to show you guys some of the things that you're doing. Is there anything that anybody that's watching would like to see how you can do something? Like if you're like, oh, I would love it if I could do something like, XYZ.
The cool thing is if you have the paid version with the AI, you can just ask the AI inside the app.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, and the other thing is if you wanted to, so when you are doing your AI class notes,
Mhm.
I can do that by uploading it unlisted to YouTube, then taking the transcription, copying the transcription, pasting it into ChatGPT, and getting it that way.
Summarize it.
So yeah,
Right.
so that's like a roundabout way. You're literally just going into your class
I click start transcribe, and that's it. I'm done. And I tell the parents, I say, I don't edit these. You're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if the student cops an attitude, and it happened, it catches it and it puts it in there, and I leave it. I do not edit it. I don't. The reason I'm bad about doing memos is I don't have the time to do them.
I didn't.
Go.
What shelf are you talking about?
Look at the shelf that has Daddy's CPAP machine on it.
I should have shown. If you want me to share my screen again, I can start a transcribe with us if you want. And show I actually was going to do that. I was actually going to do that. And I forgot.
Be like Claire kept coming in, and Zoom provides notes after class as well. Yeah, but the cool thing about this is he's able to do this no matter what you're using, whether it's Zoom or anything, right?
Yeah, let me show you. So I'm right here. You can see my
Yep.
okay. Oh, it's not available in that workspace. I don't know why. So that's okay. I'll go here. We'll go to Amelia, who's not. Okay, for some reason, it's not letting me. Oh, the other thing I started doing today is I also started embedding payment links in their memos page. So they can just go right there because I've published this. To publish, you just go share and go to publish, and this should say publish, but I've already published it. So I just send them this link, and they can always come and view that. And then when it comes time to pay, they can either pay me through PayPal or through Stripe.
Oh, yours is set up just like a little like.
Oh, Junior, I can't
Okay,
find it.
I am in the middle of something. Claire, go. I told you that's what it would say. You know, we were just talking and we were saying that you were so good when I was working.
We lied.
Go. I'm not going to be on here for much longer, okay? And if you want me to get your glue stick, then just go behave, and I'll get you your glue stick when I'm done. Go.
No.
Oh my goodness. It's almost summer vacation. It's gonna be fun. No, yours is set up like
with your Notion AI to set up like a template, like identify these types of things for me.
No, I can't tell it to do that before a meeting, but it covers everything. I haven't seen a bad one yet. And and there's a transcript. This one I didn't delete for some reason. Okay, so Meaghan can attest to this. Sometimes Notion just lags and just doesn't work for a few minutes. That's what it's doing right now. It's usually, for me, it usually happens about this time of night where I can't really do anything to it. I don't know why, but that's where we're at. But yeah, the students can just go right to their memo page and pay whichever method they want. I have actually shut down my web page now. I have absolutely zero need for it anymore. This took care of everything for me. But yeah, so you would just click transcribe, and it takes this summary or this transcription and converts it into this summary, and this happens automatically. I don't do anything. It's ready within a minute after class. And the parent, I do nothing. I don't have to copy it from Zoom and put it and then go summarize it somewhere. I don't have to copy and paste anything. I don't have to do anything.
You've essentially created your own little like mini
LMS
training center, just for you. This is amazing.
I got Nicole set up with the basics in about 10 minutes the other day. It literally took me about 10 minutes. It was quite simple. And she's changing it to the way she wants it because mine doesn't look like Meaghan's. Meaghan's is a lot more in depth than mine is.
Yeah, it's crazy. All three of us have notions. Well, I guess four of us, if you count her too, Nicole. All four of us have completely different looking notions. So you can have it. You see it, and like it doesn't even look like the same program. Mine looks different from Meaghan's. Looks different from James.
And it's funny. Nicole's looks like a woman's notion. It's very neat. Mine looks like a guy's notion. It's not as pretty. It's just not as pretty. But it gives me everything I need. But I'm going to figure out I'm going to work on the calendar thing. There's a ton of videos on YouTube, but they're all, I don't know. They're guys. They're from people that seem to micromanage their life. And I could see how somebody can fall into that trap with this. I could see that.
Yeah, even if you look on, so I'm gonna show something really quick. If you look on the templates, you can go over to templates, and
yeah, you can see them exactly.
Yes, like you have a habit tracker and your weekly planner and everything. But if you wanted something to start with, people are pets too. Pet parenting made easy with Notion. Really, I throw him a bowl of dog food and take him for a walk. Like, I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot that you could do. AI prompt, ask me anything.
Oh, I downloaded that. That was. It's
Okay,
clickbait. It's clickbait.
okay, but yeah. So I mean, there's one for teaching.
Hmm.
Okay, so there are like you could do lesson
Yeah, you could start with one of those too, right? Like you could go to teaching home and you could
Hmm.
start with one and then go from there, right?
like
And
class manager here.
exactly.
So this is what the preview looks like. So you've got, you could have like if you had like group classes especially, or yeah, you could do all of those like that.
Hmm.
So
Well, and you could take your link to your Qualigo classroom and you can have it there as your resource so you can just jump over to it. Like you can really make it sort of that one-stop homepage for you. And I do have in so I teach lots of different types of things like writing classes and whatever. And one of the things, and I've also taught a bunch of science classes. So I actually started a separate database in mine for all of my lessons. And so if I'm making a custom lesson, I will actually let's go to this one, I think. So here's plants and their adaptations. And so each of these, I have like a little lesson. And so if I open it, if I go to open this one, in the side, it's a science biology. It's from this unit. It's Genially, right? And then I have the link to it. If I have homework or links for other activities. So there's a worksheet, like a live worksheet. So then if I'm wanting to, I can just link this to the student's class record for the day. So everything is there. But I also, more importantly, can come back in here and say, oh, hey, I think I had a lesson on something like, I don't know, renewable energy. And so it will find all of my renewable energy ones. Or I had a lesson on Olympics, I think, right? And so I can find it. There it is. It's right there under the free talk. So you can still do those types of things too, which is sort of cool, right? Like a bunch of science writing prompts. And if I open this writing prompts in the side, again, I've got the same sort of setup. This comes from a template, but you can add in whatever you want in there. And so it's sort of, some of it is in there and complete, some of it is in there as, oh, I need to plan something. Some of it is, so it really just depends what you want, because you could also use it for that side of things. If you've got custom lessons that you need just for a specific student, you can have all the links to all of them in one spot.
that is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah.
And
This,
if you don't know how to do something, if you get to you're ready to type something, just hit the backslash, and it'll bring up a whole bunch of things you can do. That's how you get started. And the databases, they're different than the databases I learned 100 years ago when I was working in IT. They're not quite the same.
And this is just like, and Jay has some package tracking too, right? You can actually put in a filtered field, right? This summation button indicates it's a formula, right? And if we look at the formula, it is not particularly complicated, right? Really, we've got, total classes purchased minus classes taught, right? And that tells me how many classes are remaining. So, you have to have a field for total classes purchased, a field for total classes taught, and then how many are left. It just calculates for you.
Right.
and then it takes the total classes taught right off of your calendar, right? Because if you've got it connected.
So if you connect it correctly, like I have a little field that does that automatically. So I just put the connection in my student.
That is amazing. This is what I had wanted to have for such a long time. With a company, and
This is what I was talking to Nicole today, and I said, this is what I imagined my back office stuff would look like 2 years ago, but I never really got there. I had the spreadsheet with 90 tabs that I was tracking everything on, which just became unmanageable after a while.
Yeah, thank you so much, Meaghan, for showing us this. And I mean, I had heard of Notion and I had looked at it before, like I already had an account, but I didn't know all of the things that you could do with it. I didn't know how useful it actually was. So I
Yeah,
never
I thought it was another version of OneNote or Evernote or
like
any of those
Asana or
other.
something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you
But
so much. You can literally do anything except for the actual work with it. Like you still have
yeah,
to show up.
you can make it
Right.
track however you want and give you whatever you want. And I think if you start small and just start with, oh, here's my students and here are my classes, and then you build on it. I mean, Jay has only been at it for a few weeks and has already built all sorts of things on his.
And the other cool thing, yeah, and I mean, I have been using mine very, very, very simply. I put it in there, put their time, their date, add a couple of notes, and throw their contract in there and put it on the calendar. There are way more things. Oh, and I do this. Hold on, I'm going to show you this. We're going to stop, Claire. Okay, stop. Okay, so where's my, I want to find one that I'm doing before. Okay, make sure I don't have the address in there. Okay, so this is a project that I've got going on. And keep in mind, one of the things that I do outside of teaching is I do goat stuff. So this is a goat stuff thing. But I just wanted to show you because if you wanted to use this for any other reason, it's there too. What I do is I actually put right in here, I put the before pictures. So I have the before and after pictures. So when I go to do the after pictures, I have all my before pictures right in there too. So you can actually drag and drop files in there. So if you have a worksheet or homework or anything that you wanted to put in there, maybe a before picture of a test, a before whatever, anything, right? You could put that in the student file as well. Brenda says, Jay, you should make some how-to videos.
I don't think so. I don't really have time for that. Be honest.
He's always in coaching, Brenda. He's always in coaching. So,
but if anybody needs my help, I can have you up and running with the basics in 10 minutes.
Well, you can make
maybe
a template.
20.
Can't you make a template?
Yeah, I can make a template. I haven't, but I think it's better for the person to actually go through and set it up so that they actually start figuring out what they're doing, and then they're actually working. And the templates, yeah, I guess it would be okay, but you don't know what you're doing. And if you understand what's under the hood, you'll always be fine.
Would you want to come on here? Would you want to come on here sometime and do like a
set up a new teacher
so that you'd have a walkthrough? Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Brenda, do you want to be the new teacher? I don't think Brenda's using Notion. Just set it up.
That'll take a while.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll plan that. We'll plan like a set up a new teacher. I could be the new teacher. We'll plan a set up a new teacher. She said classes before and after coaching. Thursdays are her busiest teaching day. Oh, I know. We miss you in coaching. Every once in a while, she does make it in though. So we can do that. We could do that sometime. We set up a new teacher. You can set me up from scratch and or somebody else if somebody else wants to volunteer. Thank you so much for coming on, you guys. We are all using Notion in completely different ways, right? So Jay's using it for just teaching. Meaghan's using it for teaching and for her curriculum development. And I'm using it for goats. Like we're all like, there's no limitations to it. You can use it for so many different things. And you see some people use it for like, daily task management and everything if you need something like that. So
Habit tracking.
Well, and if you're teaching on Zoom, which I don't, but if you were, you can actually you can connect your Zoom into it and it will put your Zoom links in your appointments and you could
I have that. I have that actually.
Yeah,
I've
I did
done
see that. You could do it with Google Meet too, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
with
and
Google Meet.
the AI transcribing, it works with anything. If I had turned it on for this, it would do it for this. If I use Zoom, it does it to Zoom. If I use Koala Go, it works there. If I use Tencent, it works there.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
won't mention the other platform, but it works there too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you don't have to do anything. You just have to click Start Transcribe. That's it.
So you could even do it if you were working for, say, like VIP Kid, and you had to write your feedback. You could
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
have it write your feedback for like
Yeah.
someone too.
You could. You could. Absolutely. With
Oh my
any
God, I
call.
used to hate writing lesson feedback. Do you know how much I would have loved having something like that back then?
Man. Well, like I said, my parents were shocked because they're like, we got a memo from Jay? Because I don't do them.
What? Yeah.
I just don't do them.
All right. I think that my children have hit their limit of mommy not paying attention to them. So we're gonna wrap this up, but we'll have you back on to do a setup of a new teacher. If anybody wants to volunteer to be the new teacher, send me an email or leave us a comment and we will do so. Okay. Thank you for coming on, and I will